Welcome to the good ride where monogamy absolutely sucks when it comes to snowboard gear. And that's why I'm here. This is the Flight Attendant 162. Next to that is the Power Wagon 160. And then that little guy, the 155 Grill Master, is there. I'll mainly be talking about the Flight Attendant. Now, this board was sent to me by Burton for an extended demo. I'm sending it back when I'm done. I rode this with Union Atlas and Revierw. Took it out on one powder day and took a few turns on some groomers. When it comes to sizing, size 9 boots, 185 pounds and 5'10". I could barely control this thing. My weight couldn't flex this very well, which surprised me. I thought I'd be able to handle the weight, but it didn't. And my boots just couldn't turn this easy. Even riding the Power Wagon, the Frontier in the right size, and the Grill Master the same day, this just felt like too much board for me.
But I would have been much happier with the 159 or 156. Both of those would have fit me really well. 159 would be good for me, but if I wanted more control and an easier turning board, the 156 could still handle my weight and turn a little better for my boot size.
Now, when it comes to shape, this is tapered and directional. There's a bigger nose than tail. They've got this cool side cut they call balanced freeride geometry. They've had it forever. The side cut doesn't make the board feel as tapered. You don't need to be as back foot heavy finishing a turn to keep the tail from washing like you do a lot of tapered directional boards. You can weight this any way you'd like and it'll hold for you. The camber profile is directional camber. Camber from the tail to well past the front insert and then a touch of early rise before the nose. It's almost a full camber board. It's very technical. You have to be a really strong intermediate willing to catch an edge on occasion to progress. Otherwise, I'd say more advanced expert riders will really enjoy this more. Let's talk flex here. I like this flex. It's funny, it felt more gnarly on snow, but you have a little bit more give in the nose. A touch of give in the tail, but it's very stiff right here between the feet. And there's just this nice, easy pop. So if you size it right, there's gonna be really good pop and it's gonna be pretty easy to access, but it likes a stronger rider for sure. Now you take that flex personality out into uneven terrain. This does exceptionally well. Burton knows how to make a poppy board that doesn't shit the bed when the snow starts going uneven. It handles hard micro bumpy snow well, and then soft, bumpy, uneven, midday to late day snow. And when it comes to base glide, Burton doesn't quite have the amazing base glide anymore in this price point. Like for example, when I got on the Frontier and Stratos, I couldn't believe how much further I could get on the same traverse versus these boards. But if you get on, let's say like the new Hometown Hero or the Straight Shooter, those kind of boards, they have amazing base glide. That's up there with the best of the best. If you want to point it and just go straight and fast, the side cut's balanced enough to straight line very well. The board is very damp. This thing in a 62, I could point and it just felt like a beast. But even at a 59, I always felt very competent going fast and it really shines as a straight liner. It's right there with the Burton Power Wagon, which is a much better straight liner. I think it's a step up, definitely from the Hometown Hero. When it comes to edge hold, all their directional camber boards, they hold fine in good snow and you can commit your edge and go. They just let go a little easy in hard to icy snow. Even if you tune them up, I've tried it before with some really amazing tuners who do this as a job. They played around with different types of tunes. You don't get the edge hold you want. You get more edge hold, but it becomes much more catchy. So I see why they don't do that. But it doesn't grab at all in soft snow, and a lot of people really like that. So if you're that kind of person, you've never felt like you've needed more edge hold, and you can twist and engage that edge in, you'll be fine with this. When it comes to turn initiation, this 62 is pretty slow for me, edge to edge. Chutes and trees or trying to weave through moguls. I didn't feel like it was amazing at a 59, but very functional, like medium fast. With this, 62 felt medium slow. I was surprised at the difference, but man, once you get it on edge, I love that side cut. I love how it engages, especially the 59. It's very balanced. You can do any kind of turn. It might be more on the straight line side of balance, but I could circle carve with it, across the groomer carve, and there's so much camber in this board. It really springs out of a turn well and has this fun Burton spring and drive that very few companies can match. Now, when it comes to powder, looking at setback on board, you can get 3¼ inches back from center of board at a 23-inch stance width. It's pretty wide, but at a 62, that's more reasonable than most. What I found was interesting is the Burton Power Wagon is 3.75 inches back from center of board with a 23-inch stance width at a 160. And I felt like my 62 Flight Attendant floated better than the 160 Power Wagon. But here's the weird thing. This little Grillmaster 55 with the same setback on board as the Burton Power Wagon, 23 inches wide and -3.75 inches back from center of board, that floated better than all of these. And I think it's just because it has less tail, more nose, and more taper. But this 62 Flight Attendant, it's not the easiest to float, but it's amazing for an all mountain board and pretty good for a free ride board. Overall, I still like its directional float. I love that you can ride it centered on groomers and then set it back as far as you can in powder and get more directional float. And you still have a lot of tail, so you get an easier landing if you're going more big mountain, but it's a little more balanced. I felt like it did mid to low angle powder better than the Power Wagon for sure. Riding this switch is very doable, especially my old 59. I just loved throwing it around, and that balanced side cut, it makes it feel more like a twin on side cut versus a tapered directional board. All these boards are. Burton just knows how to make a tapered directional board ride switch better than most tapered directional boards out there in the industry. You can hit some big kickers with this, bigger than my ability level and insurance policy will allow. I wasn't super stoked on pipe, but it's pretty good. Overall, this Flight Attendant 162, again, too big for me, but it was so fun to get back on it because it reminded me of how much I liked the 59. Still a very recommendable ride for those who just need a one board quiver. They want to be ready for a deep day in powder and set it all the way back. They want to be able to ride steep terrain. They want a board with a balanced turning experience. They're okay with a little less edge hold than some of its competitors outside of Burton. And they just want a lot of dynamic spring and pop on an ollie and out of a turn. The Flight Attendant's still a very recommendable ride.